Hey there, everybody. Welcome into this edition of Extra Time. Steve Nicol, straight face as always.
What do you call that?
Where did I come up with it?
What do you call that introduction?
It's just a greeting. Just a normal, pleasant greeting. Like the one I'm going to give to Craig Burley and Nedum Onuoha. They're with us as well. Here with some questions. Nedum, first one for you. If Chelsea win the FA Cup on Saturday, does it give them a huge boost to go and add another trophy against your former club? Or is the Champions League just on its own a motivation to step up and accomplish?
I think for me, the Champions League is just by itself. I think winning the FA Cup would be great for Chelsea, but they have a different pressure, as Craig said in our show earlier, because they're the favourites against Leicester. But the Champions League itself, you know, they are essentially going to be going in as the underdog, so it's a whole different experience. So, yeah, I think Chelsea will probably win in the FA Cup, but I don't think it carries any weight come Champions League final day.
Right, Craig? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, individual games, but it's always good to be winning, isn't it? Rather than, you know, to build a bit of momentum, a bit of confidence, keep everybody fit. So it's not, it doesn't do any harm. How much effect it will have, I don't know. I suppose that could come down really in the Champions League final to how City operate, because you got to feel if City really operate well, they're probably going to win that game. Although Chelsea did have something to say for a couple of games recently against that, but I think we'll see a better City in the Champions League final.
Dan asks, is Maguire one of the most underappreciated players in the world, Stevie, now that we have seen how much Manchester United struggle defensively without him? This is one of those interesting ones where when a team plays worse when the player's not there, they get credit.
Yes. To be honest, I think it's credit that's due.
So you do think he's underappreciated?
Well, I don't think he's No, I don't think so. Let's be honest. Manchester United in world football are one of the better sides. So the fact that he's the captain and he plays every single minute of every game if he's fit tells you that he's not underappreciated. Mm-hmm. I think what shows more is the lack of depth that Manchester United have got in the position as opposed to him being underrated. I think that's what showed up. Not the fact that he's brilliant. I think it showed up the fact that when they don't have any of the regular centre-backs, of which he is one, then they're kind of scratching around a bit to get by.
Nedum, give us a centre-back's perspective on Maguire.
So I think he's a very good player. I think, as we've seen, and as Stevie just alluded to there, he's the captain of Manchester United, and I think he is that for a reason. And we've seen in this last week, you know, when he doesn't play, like the drop-off seems to be like way too big. So I think he's very, very good. I think the amount of money which they paid for him from back when, you know, that must have been the going rate, but it felt like a lot, especially when you were seeing that someone like a Virgil van Dijk was going for similar money. Now, I don't think he's as good as Van Dijk, but I think his importance to Manchester United, as we've seen, is essentially the same as Van Dijk's is to Liverpool. So, yeah, I think he's a very good player, and, you know, if he's fit, he makes Manchester United a far better side.
Stevie, were your title-winning sides given guards of honor? Do you feel like they are a nice gesture or too over the top? We saw it today from Newcastle for Manchester City.
No, it's a nice gesture.
Were you guys given it?
I think so, yeah.
You don't even remember.
It's hard to remember.
You would remember that. 5 league titles and a packet of crisps.
I remember. I think we did it at Watford way back early 80s. I think the interesting thing would be, though, is if either Liverpool and Manchester United won it and had to go to either Old Trafford or Anfield, would a guard of honour be given?
Would it be just that rivalry or like any rivalry? Let's say it was Everton and Liverpool or whatever. Manchester United, Manchester City. You just don't do it for your rivals?
No, Everton, Liverpool, there would be given.
Respect.
There's a respect, absolutely, yeah. No, that would be the test, though.
Right.
Or Anfield for
the begrudging clap. You can just imagine, right? Written through your teeth.
Yeah, right.
Craig, what do you think? Is this something that we like or no?
Not particularly.
I knew it.
Happy Harry there, eh?
So, can you imagine Celtic and Rangers in Scotland?
No, there'd be a brawl, right? Yeah.
Well, no, it wouldn't be whatever team was given the Guard of Honour, those players would have to find different places to live. You know what I mean? It's like not going to happen. So yeah, it's part of the game now that seems to happen quite a lot. But I'm not really too fond of it, to be quite honest.
Who comes closest to Kante from their playing days? Craig, you were a box-to-box type, right? I mean, of this panel.
Sometimes I was just box. I didn't get back to the other box. I certainly was in my pomp at Celtic, yeah, and to an extent at Chelsea. And then as your career goes on, you change your game.
Yeah.
So, what was Conte not a wider player?
I always remember him in the middle, but yeah.
Well, what do you remember?
Nedum, anybody you played with that reminds you of N'Golo Kante?
Oh, N'Golo Kante. I thought you meant Antonio Conte.
Yeah.
Give me a freaking break, man.
In terms of distance covered, I would have to say Jordan Henderson for when I was at Sunderland with him, because he's the only person really that I've seen posting similar sorts of numbers. Like we're talking like 12 to 13k a game. Like for Jordan back then, it wasn't necessarily as effective as Kante is now, but he definitely had the capacity to be able to cover those sorts of distances. So I think for him, if he had the choice as well, I think he'd rather play the 8 and be a box-to-box midfielder now, and I think he'd probably do it quite well.
Craig, anyone who reminds you of Kante and not Conte?
Well, I can't see the question because I haven't got my glasses on, and your pronunciation of Kante, Kante's a... Oh, shut up, I'm not answering the question.
Stevie.
Get stuffed.
The Jordan Henderson comparison, not a bad shot from Nedum.
I tell you, Patrick Vieira used to get around. Plus he had a lot of other stuff on top.
Yep.
As far as interceptions, as far as tackles, as far as getting around the field, I tell you, Patrick Vieira was everywhere.
For Stevie, do coaches who used to be players have a bias towards strengthening the position they themselves played first? So was the first thing you focused on when you managed the defense?
No, I wouldn't say so.
No. You just look at the team, what's wrong with
you
it,
look at a team and you try and figure out where the problems are. And
you know a little bit more about defense.
And if you've got that many problems, then you go to the most important one and then work your way around it. So no, you don't automatically just go, right, I'm going straight to where I played. No, that wouldn't make you a good coach, would it?
No, I don't think so. Nedum, go ahead.
Okay, so I've got a good one. So I don't know if Craig, if you played with, but I was coached by Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank when I was at QPR. And I remember Jimmy as a player, I loved him in terms of the way he attacked, all the goal scoring, all that stuff. But he came to us, and the thing he was obsessed about the most was defending, to the point whereby he made us exceptionally solid, but we just didn't really score that many goals. And it just seemed so surreal, because I remember him being one thing, but then here he was as the other. He was obsessed, and maybe he still is to a certain extent, about getting you as fit as possible and defending and being as solid as possible. And it's just not something I expected from him, but I ended up quite enjoying it, to be honest.
Interesting, yeah. I think the manager doesn't always bring what you might expect from their playing career.
Everybody's different.
Nedum, oh man, of course, we end on a high note. Nedum, what was it like being interviewed by Shaka? Is he the next Walter Cronkite?
Oh my goodness.
Walter
Shaka
Mitty.
is... yeah, secret life. No, Shaka is Shaka. For me personally, I'd say I remember watching Shaka, I remember watching Craig. Unfortunately, I don't remember watching Stevie, but
for
me,
come
I love
on.
the guy.
Seriously.
I'm not quite old, I'm not quite that age. I'm not quite there. But as I say, to be able to speak to him and to be able to talk about things that really matter and so on, it was a nice moment, because what you go from playing to being on the other side, but when you're on the other side and you see that there are lots of good people on the other side as well, it does make you feel very, very happy. So yeah, Shaka's a legend to me, and I'm very, very happy to be in the same network as him.
But be honest, Alexis carried the interview.
Well, to be fair, yeah, Alexis does. I'm looking forward to seeing it tomorrow at the FA Cup final as well. But Shaka did do his piece, like always, like all good goalkeepers do.
That's right. Everybody has their role. All right, that's it for us here on Extra Time. For Craig, Stevie, Nedum, I'm Seb. Thanks for watching. ESPN FC available 7 days a week. Don't miss a single episode. We're back tomorrow.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week, subscribe to ESPN Plus.